Hello friends! Welcome to Squared Plans, where creative planning and organization comes to life. I'm Stephanie, and today we're going to be doing the much anticipated planner setup video for 2025. I'll be grabbing a bunch of different materials, putting them together along with my lineup of planners, and making one big catch-all planner similar to the one I have here that I'm currently working out of. So if that sounds good, let's jump in. Okay, I do have one thing that I'm going to create with you guys here for my planner. I was looking for an alternative pin loop for my planner that, I don't know, just I can move around in my planner and change up every season like I like to do, where it's positioned, but had a little bit more permanence to its structure. I have some pin loops in there now that I DIY'd, which I still love, but there's a little thing that annoys me about them. And I haven't really found a workaround on that problem. So you can see I have a pin loop here, but for some reason, I can't get the stickiness to really work on the smooth leather area. On the raw leather area, I have some stickiness and like a double-sided tape, and I'm able to lift it up and reposition it fairly easily. But for some reason, I can never get a semi-permanent adhesive to stick to this leather part. I do have one that I'm going to try. I kind of roughed up this part of it with my X-Acto knife and tried to make it a little bit more teethy. You know what I mean? You have a little bit more of a gripper for something for the adhesive to hold on to. And I'm going to try that in my new planner. But while I was getting frustrated with my pen holders before, or pen loops, I went on Amazon and was just looking for an alternative and found this random binder pen loop. So let me pull it out. So black on black, you're not going to be able to see anything. But basically, it is just a elastic pen loop stuck onto a kind of poly or sewn onto a poly cover or dashboard. This is obviously not the right size for my planner. I use a classic size planner. So I'm going to cut it down and see if I can use this for the pen that I use the most, which is my friction metal pen. So let me go ahead and do that. It's currently 9 inches. I think it's made for a medical binder. So we're going to try this. I'm going to cut it down to 7 inches by 9 1/4, and then I'm going to punch it. And I now need to mark a center hole. So the center hole will be, mine would be 4 1/2, and then with the extra quarter, so it'd be another 1/8. I'm going to go ahead and soften the corners with my corner rounder punch. So anyway, I'm just looking for that mark, that center mark, and then punching the first hole. And now we'll do the rest, just based off of the guide included. Easy peasy. All right, and like I said, I know you guys can't see that, but I wanted to make that really quick with you guys just so you could see, because I'll try to link the binder version that I found, but you might be like, why did she link this? This is not for a planner or a discbound planner. And I know that. So I wanted to show you guys what I did to it. Okay, now moving back on to the planner setup. Okay, so if you guys were following my Plan Miss journey for the last couple of days, you may have seen this video where I DIY'd my cover for next year. So there is a setup video if you just kind of want to see how I DIY'd this, but basically it's a laminated cover with a couple of vellum laminated dashboard, an acetate laminated dashboard cover, must speak but cannot, with a vellum dashboard, a couple of cardstock dashboards that I printed myself, and then another laminated cover. So this is the front and the back cover together. And I have these gold expander discs. I'm definitely going to need expander discs. I have the black ones currently on my planner. I don't know if I want to go with gold or with black next year. I'm looking at it though. I feel like the black are going to be the better choice. Let me put this cover on and just see how it looks with the black. Yeah, I think I want the black. Okay. All right, give me a minute. I do have another set of discs. Let me move these out of the way. In red that I just bought for the holidays. I didn't bother replacing them on my cover before just because I was already halfway through the season, but I really think I want these black discs. So I'm going to go ahead and swap it out now. Okay, you guys, so I finally got my current planner set up onto these red discs. I really like them actually for the holidays, so I'm glad I finally did it, even though there's only like 10 days or less until Christmas. So I have this all set up and ready to go. I have it on standby in case I need to reference it for the setup, but we have the discs, which again, you probably can't see anything on my black backgrounds, these black discs, but let's get the cover on them. So I'm going to do the laminated parts first, just because they're a little more rigid. And then put in the cardstock. So we have the basis of the planner setup. So I had bought, or I did buy, some new dividers for this part of my planner. I have a couple, this is actually top tabs, but I'm going to be using them as the bottom tabs for my reference section. You can pull these out. And I also have this 6-tab set for the side. And this will be for my major sections. So if you've never seen my planner set up, I use a lot of tabs in my setup. These two sets that I'm going to be labeling really quick and putting together here are like the bigger sections of my planner. So this one is for each major section, and I have a new order for that. I have a little sticky note so I remember to order them properly. So I'll be labeling those with those categories, and then these ones are for my reference section and will be going in, like I said, as bottom tabs. So they'll be going in this way. I did pre-print the labels for all of them. I changed up the font this year just to try something different. It's like a typewriter font. I'm in a typewriter mood lately. Typewriter style. So anyway, so I'm going to be using this to label these 6. I'm going to pre-cut them. What I do usually is just print one giant sheet of labels all at once on like an 8.5 by 11 sheet. So all of the labels here were just kind of made up in one file, and then I printed the sheet and cut it down. You just want to make sure the size of your label is appropriate for whatever you're using as dividers or tabs. So we'll stick on inbox. That's the first one. Then we've got goals next. Productivity on the 3rd tab. And then I'm going to make the 4th tab now collections. Whereas before we would have went straight to schedules, which is how it is currently in my catch-all Frankenplanner. Then we'll go to schedules as my 5th tab. And finally, reference will be my 6th tab. So we have these tabs ready to go. So I'm going to put these in. Okay, so new order done. I have these other tabs, which I'll be relabeling the ones on my top tabs when I'm done. So I won't be doing that in this video, but basically just fresh labels for my current top tab system. So I'll put this aside. Actually, I'm going to put it somewhere where I won't lose it. Then we have a couple more. Let me fix this real quick. Okay, so that is part of the top tab. So I'm going to put that together with the rest. And then I have these 4 for those bottom tabs. These are going to be the same. So if you follow me, you know that I use these 4 tabs in my reference section. The categories are personal, business, work, and social. So let me reorder these because they're actually backwards from what I want. So this first one will be personal, and then business, then work, then social. So the major tabs are in. What I'm thinking is that this is going to go... Ooh. Yeah, I think I want this one in the back. We'll see. But for now, I think I'm going to put this right in the back, and then I will have the space between this and my back cover be for note paper. So I have some pulled already from my stash, ready to be put in. See if I can get it all in once here. Okay, so yeah, so that's a good divider too between the last reference tab and just that little area. So this is where my pen will go, and I'm just gonna grab out the one that I have right now that I'm using and put it in. I like that. So it doesn't flop around. That was the big deal. And I can put this anywhere in my planner without it being an issue. I am going to put on, though, my other pen loop. So this is a DIY that I mentioned that I roughed up the area where it was smooth leather and have put on some more of that double-sided tape to see if that adheres better than what I currently am using. And if so, then I'll just alter those other ones and use those again in the future. So I'm going to use this one for my 4-color pen and put it on the side so you can see against the light. So I bought a new 4-color pen as well. I loved the metal barrel so much of my standard friction pen here in black. And I have a plastic version right now of the 4-color pen, which is doing fine, but I use both every day, and I just really loved the upgrade, so I decided to upgrade this as well. And like I said, it's got a metal barrel, so it's a little bit heavier. Let me open it up. So size-wise, they're almost identical, just a little bit darker matte feel, and like I said, much heavier than my current one. But I think it still takes the plastic inserts. Yeah. So these refills are the same as the other ones. It's just this part that's really heavy and metal. So love that. And I also find that these standard pen loops are usually too small to hold them, the wider pens like this. So we're going to try this one. Ooh. Okay, it gets in. Hopefully once I get it onto the thing, it'll be a little bit easier to slide in and out. Okay. So I have that. I'm going to have to find a place for that, but I'm going to put that to the side for now. And move back to the front of the planner. So right now, I have a sticky dash right at the front. So I'm going to add another version of the sticky dash here. A little bit of FYI, I had redesigned my sticky dash for this year. I was going to do a whole winter theme. I had the cardstock ready, but my printer needs, I think, some service because I've been putting it through the ringer in the last few weeks, and actually my husband has been too, and it's just starting to make kind of like some streaking. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's like, yeah, I got like a magenta streak thing happening over here, and I didn't like that. The other dashboards were even worse for the individual tabs. So I made a whole winter theme for all 6 tabs to have dashboards in. But for now, I'm going to use the one I made in a previous setup. I think this was either for last year or the year before. So this is a DIY sticky dash, which actually has a pocket here and eraser shavings all over it, a pocket here, and another pocket here. So it's a really cool DIY. I found some ideas from the planner community and then kind of made my own thing, and I really like how it turned out. So that's going to be for the beginning of the year for now. I still love these dashboards, but I was really kind of excited about doing a whole seasonal winter theme since I don't really do a seasonal winter refresh because it's usually the beginning of the year when I'm doing a winter styling, but we'll just go with this for now. And then, like I said, if I can get the other stuff to print properly, then I will do a revamp of this. But for now, let's go ahead and drop in the dashboards as well from the previous setups. It's basically like a watercolor theme, just with various colors. So I'm going to drop these in. So now all of my tabs have dashboards correspond with the tab. Yes. And we will do the same thing in the back for those bottom tabs. I have some dividers that I managed to print in black and white okay. So I made these as well. Like I said, I was kind of going for a winter theme, but this one's a little more generic, so I could use this any time of year. But I went with a black and white photo theme. So all of the stuff that I print out is usually either free or I created it. I find a lot of free printables. These are free images that I found, and then I just added the text I wanted with it. And on the back I printed it grayscale, but you can see my printer's just not as clean as it can be. And I am a stickler for that kind of stuff. For business, I picked a kind of book page photo like that. Work. And then social. I could spend days curating these setups, but I just didn't have the time to take for all of this. So I had to make decisions, and this is what I came up with for now. Okay, so back to the front. So we've got the sticky dash in, and we probably are going to need to put in some content now. Let's start with the inbox. I have from my lineup video, as you guys saw, a year planner, and in here I started collecting some of the items that I would need for this front part of my setup. Then we're going to start with the inbox and just throw that in. This is from my shop. It is based off the David Allen's Getting Things Done method, and I just printed out the pages that I think I'll need for the year. There's some variations of most of the pages in there, and these aren't all of them. So I just like I said, I'm using whatever I think I can end up using and printed only those pages. This has been printed for over a year. I had planned to refresh it in 2024 and then just didn't. So now we have them set up for 2025. I didn't have to print anything because they were already printed. Okay, so next we have our goal section, and I have these ready to go as well. I did a DIY setup video on these if you want to see more about that and how I'm goal setting for 2025. But these pages are all set and ready to go for my annual and quarterly goals. And then the productivity section I will pull from my current planner. I'm not really using what is in there now, so I can move that over. Productivity, and that'll be nice because I need to lighten this planner up a little bit since I have my full holiday planner in there. Okay, and basically these are kind of like my productivity, what would you call these? Like routines, things that help me be more productive. Tools. Yes, productivity tools, I guess would be a good way to say it. I have in here my morning routine. I also have this master weekly time block schedule, which I think I'll refresh at some point in the early new year and just do more of a master schedule versus what I was doing, which was a pre-planning style setup, but it really wasn't working for me. So you'll see a little bit more about how I'm going to be dealing with that. But anyway, I have that. I have my block schedule in the back, and then I have my Kanban board for my portfolio site, which is still in production, but is on my goals list again this year. So maybe 2025 is going to be the year. I think I said that exact same thing for 2024. But anyway, so I just basically moved it directly into here. I'm not currently actively using these because I know my morning routine right now and block schedule is pretty set, so I haven't really needed to reference it. Okay, so we're on to collections. So here, this is kind of a new section for me. I tried it last year, but just didn't have a good plan of action for how to fill this out. So we are using a printable from another person's shop. I will link it below, the one that I ended up purchasing. It's not classic size, so I definitely shrunk it down to fit classic. And I printed only the pages from there that I wanted. Everything is directly off of that printout here in the front part because it was a reading planner or reading journal printable. And so I'll show you guys the pages real quick. I got a bookshelf, an annual reading page, book of the month, a currently reading. I printed extras of these in case there were some outstanding books that I wanted to review. I also have my ebook tracker because I don't really read paper books anymore, so everything's on my iPad. So I have that for any physical style books that I read. And then I have audiobooks as well, which is where I do most of my reading. So I have extra pages of that as well. I may need to print more because I've been filling up my own library card with audiobooks this year, and I'm almost ready for another set. I also have my books to read section, which I'm excited about because I always lose track of something new that I should be reading. I have my favorite books set up along with my favorite authors. Just another one I'm kind of excited about so that I don't flail around trying to find new books to read. I also have a monthly reading challenge, which I thought would be kind of fun to get me out of my norm. I tend to go with women's fiction or romance a majority of the time. So some of these look like they would be challenges for me like an autobiography or a history or biography. Those ones I don't tend to gravitate towards. So I'm excited for this monthly reading challenge. It might broaden my horizons a bit. I also have on the back reading challenge so I could coordinate what books I want to read with the month. I thought that would be a good way to have those together. And then I did a reading tracker. I currently track my reading in my agenda planner as part of kind of like my little goals, but I thought it would be nice to have a separate page for that. And then at the back, I thought an unfinished books one would be good as well. So I have those pages, and then I didn't want to, again, seek out another shop for some other items that I needed, which was like for TV that I'm watching, TV series, and then movies that I've watched. So I decided just to modify a couple of her pages into series and movies trackers. I think I got it to work. It's not a perfect match, but it looks close enough, and I like that they have a similar look and feel. So basically I took, I think this was from the audiobooks kind of tracker. Yeah, something like this. And just changed it to say series title, the platform, because I can never remember what I watched it on, and then what season for the series tracker, finished, and rating. And then for the next page, I guess I should put these all in there real quick and then go over them. The next page I have series to watch, the platform and the genre, and then a check off. So that was also based off of one of her other setups. I think books to read. Yeah, so it's basically the books to read, but with the new titles at the top. So I've got that, and then I have the same for the movie tracker, just slightly changed. I did movie title and platform and left genre as is, and then movies to watch as well. So that's my collections section now. I'm pretty excited about it. We'll see if I can fill this out. I've always wanted to do a reading journal, but it just felt like it was going to be too much effort and time. So we'll see how much of this I can keep up with. And it's very low commitment. I didn't have to design anything to start. And, you know, I just printed out the pages that I thought I might use. If I don't use them, no big deal. Nothing's going to waste. I still have the printables for the future. Okay, you guys. So that's the majority of the separate sections. And now we're going to get into the schedules section, which is where all of the individual planners will live here in the setup. So like I said, I had this year planner in here, and that is going to be the first planner in my schedule setup. So I'm going to pull in all the pages for that. Let's see. So at the front, why do I have so many extra? Oh, okay. I don't remember. So let me just drop this in first. At the front, I'll have my year at a glance. Move this out of the way so we can get this centered. I have my year at a glance. I also have my future log, which is going to be my next tab. And I'll set this up in the same way I did this year. So if you want to see that, there is a video on it. I have this perpetual calendar. So I printed this one on the back of my future log. This is going to be for my work calendar for my freelance design business. So this is probably the only time you're going to see it. I'm going to set it up with all of the individual projects that I know are coming up throughout the year and just have that ready to go. So there's that. And then I have my year habits set up here, which is usually like self-care, personal type habits that I want to keep up with. So I really like having that there. Just kind of keeps me mindful of taking care of myself, which is part of my goals for the year. And that's the end of that. So there's one more section in my year planner that goes at the back, which is my memory keeping monthly. So this planner here is just a placeholder planner. So I just have some old dividers in here along with the printouts that I'll be using. Pretty much everything you've seen so far in this schedule section is from my shop. So let me drop it in the monthly, which I've already pre-decorated. Let me drop that in. So this is going to live on my shelf, and as the year goes through, I'll pull out each month's printables and then put them in when I'm finished. And I only get this once a year, access this once a year, not once a year, once a month, to pull in and out each month's inserts. So like I said, this is going to be the last tab in this planner. This is my month memory keeping or memory a day planner. So I have that, and then at the back of it with a currently page, which is new to my planner this year, which I'm excited about. And if you want to see the setup, there is a video on it. I can show you guys, or I can link it for you guys if you can't find it, but I just recently did it during Plan This. Okay, so that's the first planner. On to the next. After my year planner comes my faith planner, and again, another placeholder binder planner set up here. So I'm just going to pull out all of January. And stick that right in here. And again, this is another setup that I just recently did. But basically, my faith planner will have another 4-tab system. I've got my faith overview set up, and this is in my shop. I have a monthly, which is where I'm going to be doing my daily Bible readings. I put in my scriptures because I read the Bible once a year. So everyday scripture readings will go at the top, and then I do like a little takeaway or like an application write-in on the monthly boxes. And then for the weeklies, this is my quadrant layout for my shop, and I am going to be lettering in the verse of the day from the app that I use for both the Bible reading and for this verse. It's a app called YouVersion Bible app, and I talk about it in my flip through video. So if you just want to know more about how I'm using this planner, you can check out my previous flip through videos. I do one every month, and I talk through my whole planner setup. So anyway, so I have that all ready to go and pre-decorated in the same theme, which is another thing I like to do for my faith planner. And then on the back, there is going to be one more tab for, there's a blog called Little Faith Blog, I believe. And she usually puts out monthly calendars of scripture readings and other fun stuff. So I think I'm going to try to do that on this back page this year. But she usually doesn't come out with it until like the very first day of the month or the last day of the previous month. So I'll have to wait to see what she comes up with for the new year. Okay, so that's my faith planner. And now we're going to move on to the next planner, which is my health planner. And in here, the front, I have a few annual pages, which I think I'm going to put actually at the back of the planner. I haven't decided. But yeah, I think I'm going to put it at the back. So this is going to be actually the end of the planner section. And here I have my health stats, my body measurements, and my weight tracker. And then I don't have anything on the back, but there is a page that I may pull in my stash for this back page. I need to go and find it though, so you may see that in the future in a future flip through video. Anyway, so this is the back pages, and these are annual pages, so they'll be kind of tucked in as one of the back tabs. Again, another just setup planner with random dividers and things. And I've only printed 1 month for my health planner. I am trying some things out, so we'll see how that goes this year. When I'm not real sure if I'm going to be committed to a layout, then I'll only print a month or two at a time until I figure things out, and that way I don't waste paper. So anyway, so again, printables from my shop. This one is the first layout, which is going to be kind of my overview layout, but it's gonna have basically my habits, my step tracker, and then my fasting hours side by side so that I can easily see and track some of these health stats. And then I decided to go back to a monthly page or a monthly spread. I have some ideas for how I might use this to help me with my strength training plan, and also maybe tracking some various items on here. We'll see. I need to figure it out still. I'm planning on kind of working out the kinks over the holiday week. So for now, that's the plan for this, but I don't know exactly how that's going to look. I also need to figure out how I'm going to decorate this, or if I'm just going to use ink. I haven't quite decided on the monthly pages at least. And then for the weekly, I'm going to continue with the lined vertical layout. I just think that it works the best so far for my health planner. That gives me a lot of freedom for decorating, but also is fairly neat and clean when I write in all of the details for each day. So I've got that. I got that all printed in, and then on the very back of the planner each month, I have my symptom overview set up. This one is a little bit different from anything that's in my shop. It's something I'm trying out, but it's more of a combination of my meds and supplements tracker and my symptoms. I used to have both, and now I'm going to try to combine them into one chart just to make things a little simpler in the morning. I just feel like, I don't know, in the morning when I was seeing both of those charts and looking at them side by side, I don't know, I just felt like there was a lot of work to put in, and I really wasn't getting that much out of them. I still think the information's valuable. I just want it to be a little less burdensome in the morning when I'm doing my tracking. So we're going to try it like this, a little bit more condensed, and see how I like it. And then at the back too, so there'll be a tab here so I can see both of these at the same time, but what I'll end up doing is kind of attaching this page to the tab so that I can get to my weight tracker and go from there. Actually, you know what? I probably will do this. This is what I should have thought about this. So I'll probably just do my weight tracker because this is the only thing I do daily. And have that right there ready to go. And then when I do my flip throughs, I'll just move it to the inside. And then over here, I do these once a month, the tracking of my health stats and the measurements. So yeah, that tab right there should be actually really good. Working things out on camera, you guys. Okay, so that's my health planner. 2 more planners to go into this section. This is my agenda planner that's coming next. And again, it's a printable setup for my shop. So in here, I'm going to put this whole planner. This is another one that I only printed 1 month because I still need to work out a few things. But we've got my agenda overview. This one's going to include a single page monthly this time around. So this will be like where I have all my events, appointments, and things scheduled out based from my future log, and then I migrate them here, and then I'll migrate them to my week. And then this will be a monthly to-do list along with some monthly habits to track, and then the rest will be for decor, or I may end up using this spot for something else. This is currently an undated option in my shop. I have had a couple requests for a dated one, so I think it would be fun to have a nice dated option. I just haven't had time to do it, but maybe coming to my shop in 2025. So next, we have my goals and tasks layout. So I went back to the 2 pages versus just the single page that I did in 2024 because I really did feel like I was much more productive breaking down tasks and kind of getting a week overview of all the tasks that I have going on related to both my goals and then my workload so that I could really incorporate my goals into my schedule. So that's how I'll be setting this up each month. You can see that in a video. I usually do the goals and then at least 1 week's worth of tasks, so you can kind of see how I am migrating things in. And then we have my brand new hourly dashboard layout in my shop. A lot of you guys were really interested in this layout. I'm happy that you gave me the feedback and I added it to my shop. We're going to see how this goes. I have had one suggestion for a lined only version, which I may do in January and have that available if you want to try it out as a lined version. I personally really like the idea of a lined version. The grid is great though. I really like the grid for this side, but it might be a little bit much on this side, so we will see. But I have done one setup in November kind of testing out this layout and I really liked it, so we're gonna see how this goes. Anyway, so I have that printed and in there, and that's what we'll try out for the week or for the month. At the back, I have a custom layout that I kind of built specifically for me. I have a social stats page where I'll put in my YouTube and Instagram followers. Here at the top, my monthly of the same, and then some weekly tasks I'll track there. And then over here is where I actually schedule out my Instagram and YouTube schedule, which posts and videos I'm going to put up. So that's what those will be used for. And then the back is usually empty, but I have an idea to do like a monthly review on this page. I'm going to start with just the notes and kind of bullet journal it out to see how I might want it set up. And if that works, then maybe I'll create a insert for my shop. Okay, so that is my 4th planner, I think. Yeah, 4th. And so the 5th one will be my finance or budget planner. And since I haven't filled anything out yet, I can show you guys what that looks like. So these are the annual pages that I'll be putting in. That's the annual pages. Let me pull out the rest too. Let me just do it all at once and then I can show you. So for my budget planner, I have, again, printable from my shop. At the very front, I added in a perpetual calendar. This is going to be used just to track my Etsy sales every day. So I'll just write in the number throughout the year. And then right after that, I have my year at a glance and yearly overview pages from that budget planner. There are some variations of the pages in that planner setup, so you can choose. Usually, I think there's a couple of options for, like, say, this page, the payment tracker, and then the account setups. So these are the pages that I decided on. The year at a glance is great for those bills that are like quarterly or just once a year. So I'll put those in over here so I can keep track of those. And then here is where I kind of get the overview of the year, how much income, expenses, savings we have coming in. And then I'll use this as like a, you can use like a bar graph, but I usually use, what do you call that? A dot grid graph. I forgot what you call those, but basically a dot graph so that I can see like the highs and lows throughout the year. And then this back page is my yearly payment tracker. I like to add in the actual quantity or that we paid, the payment amount. So I like this one better, even though it's horizontal in setup. But I put my bills in here along with their due dates, and then I just track what we paid. Most of the bills are the same price or the same charge every month, but there are a few that vary, like credit card charges, things like that. So it is nice to see overall the full year. So those are the annual pages I'm going to be having in here. I decided to take out my accounts, transactions pages for each of my checking, savings, all those accounts this year. It's nice to have them in there, but I'm just trying to simplify my life a little bit because it does take me a little while to go through my planner in the morning, and I just don't want to have it to be a burden. Those pages are handy, but I feel like I can easily get the information in my bank account app because there's not as much in and out from those accounts as there would be for, like, say, our credit card charges and stuff, since that's how we pay for everything. So that is something I'm trying to eliminate and see how it goes for 2025. And then we have a couple of monthly pages. So we have the month at a glance, which is dated in that planner, which is really nice. And here I'll put my income and my expenses, kind of just an overview down here at the bottom. And then also the same over here for planning out the month. And then I'll also put in whatever bills on what day so I can see the month view. I really feel like that is much more helpful than just seeing the list view. So I like to see what's coming up in the, couple of days or next week or whatever, so I can plan ahead. And then behind that, I have a couple of monthly expenses pages. I printed 3 usually for each month. Okay, so that's my schedule section. That's pretty much everything that's going to go in there. What I'll end up doing is migrating those tabs into each of their sections once the year is over, but those are coming. Like a quick preview of what that looks like. You can see in my current schedules section all of these top tabs. So basically I'll just relabel them and place them into their respective planners. This system allows me to go through my planner each morning, touch all the individual pages that need attention every day, and then be done. So I don't get overwhelmed with trying to find things or miss things that I want to keep track of. I have all the tabs there, and I know that my top tab system is how I navigate through my planner each and every morning. So that's where those will come in, and like I said, I'll migrate those over when the year begins. So here we have my reference section, and that will be next. I have the tabs in there with their dividers, but I'm going to, again, migrate over those storage items at the beginning of the year. I'll do a little bit of a clean out too, just to see if there's anything in there that I don't need anymore. But basically, that's where I'll put just things that I reference, every so often, but want to be able to have them at my fingertips when I need them. So we've got that. We've got the pen loop in there for now. I think I also want to add in, I had made another one of these sticky dashboards, but I used a Daiso fold-out flap instead of a laminated version just to get some extra use out of it. But there is a big pocket folder here as well. So I think I'm going to add this to the back just to have another pocket folder back here. And I don't know if I should, I think I'm going to put it after the pen loop. Okay, so that's good. I like that. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I haven't added in yet. But no, I think that's it. So we've got the note paper. This is kind of weird though. I don't like that it bumps up against it. So maybe not here. Maybe what I'll do is I'll put it right in front of the back cover. That should give me a little more space, breathing room. And also protect these back pages from rubbing against the dashboard. There we go. Okay. Yeah, it works a little bit better when I flip it out. Oh, I need to put in my 4-color pen and this pen loop. So let's see, where would be a good spot for that? let's go ahead and put it on this here. I don't know if I want to put it on the, yeah, okay. And I don't think it'll be a problem. So like I said, I have some double-sided tape here. Let's see if this works with the extra roughed up leather. Let me drop this in. Actually, I'm going to put the pen in to make sure that it's not bumping up against anything. So we'll put it like maybe here. Okay. And I do think that works. So far, it's working better than the other ones. It's not flopping around as much, even though it's fairly heavy. Oh, that's interesting. So the other one, I think you can kind of push here and this comes up, but this one is more of a slide. So it's kind of locked in there. Okay, so we've got that in. And yeah, I think it'll be okay. We'll see. Longevity, how long it goes. But I think that's it for now. And there are a few items that I will migrate over once the new year begins. But yeah. Oh, I don't like that though. These guys are sticking out pretty hard. Don't like that they stick out so much. All right, well, it'll be fuller too once we get to the new year. I still have a few items to be added in. So let's do a quick flip through now, show you guys how the final setup turned out. Okay, so we have the cover here, this DIY cover, and it's basically nice and ready to go. Then we have my sticky dash with my pen loop and a spot for some items. Then we have my inbox, and I'm just going to try to clean up some of these little flecks as I go. But I have my new tab with my inbox, dashboard, and my inbox printables. Then we have my goals tab. In it, we have my goals DIY pages. Then we have my productivity tab. And in it, we have my morning routines, my block schedule, my master schedule, and then my portfolio Kanban board. Then we move on to collections, where we will house all of my reading media trackers, which we went through. So I'll just quickly flip through those. Then we have my schedule section, which is where we will have my year planner at the start. Then the memory keeping pages as well at the back of that planner. We will have my faith planner, my health planner with its annual pages at the back, my agenda planner, so these new pages, and finally my finance planner with some annual pages at the front and my monthly here. Although I may switch the order. I may have the monthly at the front. I haven't decided yet. But anyway, those are all set and ready to go. Then we're going to get into my reference section with my bottom tabs, long-term storage, and they have their dashboards here ready to go. Sure hope my husband can fix the kind of streaking I was seeing in my printer lately. We got those in there. We've got my new pin loop dashboard that we just quickly DIY'd in no sense. And seeing how I like that. I don't know. This may not work out, even though I like it. This is a little tight and it doesn't give me a lot of wiggle room. So, I mean, I can get the pen in and out, but I may, if that holds up well with my DIY pin loop hack there, to get the stickiness to stay, I may switch this out. So I've got that, and then some note paper, and another pocket folder / sticky dash, and my back cover. Okay, so pretty much set up for the new year. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also, too, go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch, and think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Bye!